Welcome back, guys. In this session, I'm going to show you how we can do props deconstruction. Now, let me go back to the code. And here we just have one division in which we have the h1 tag, which says React tutorials. So this is what we are seeing right here on the web page right now. So what I'm going to do, first of all, let me just create one small component called as employee. So let me go to the components folder. Let me create a new file, name it as employee.js. It has to be a JavaScript file. So now, first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function called as employee, and the function always will have this like parenthesis and braces, so and also it will be having a return statement like this. Put a semicolon over here, and this here will be having export default the component name, that is employee. Okay, and here at the top, always you will have to import the React class from this library, which is called as React. So this is how you create a functional component. So now every return statement or every function component will be having one division, and inside this division I'm going to have a paragraph. Let me put a paragraph tag here, and I'm going to say I am. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm Raj, and my designation is web developer. So this is what the employee component is going to get displayed on the screen. So now what we need to do is we need to come to our app.js file, and after this h1, just like an HTML tag, I'm going to place this employee tag like this. So it can be like two times like this, opening and closing tag. Let me save it, and here we are going to get the import statement. If it doesn't come, you can also type this manually. So now we have one employee component, child component employee.js, which we are showing inside the app.js file as an HTML tag. We can also show this just by deleting this part and putting a forward slash like here also. So both are fine. Let me just show both the codes. So let me just go to the browser, and as you can see, we are seeing the child component, the employee.js, where it says I'm Raj and my designation is web developer. So let me come back to the code, and let me get the previous code back like this, like an HTML tag. Okay, now let me save it, and let's go back to our web browser, and as you can see, it makes absolutely no difference if it's like an HTML tag or if you just put one tag with a forward slash symbol. So let me come back to the app.js file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send some properties into this particular employee tag. So let me just get rid of no, let it be there. So now what I'm going to do is inside this employee tag, okay, the starting tag of the employee, I'm going to say I'm going to have a property called as name, and there I'm going to say it is Raj. Okay, and also I'm going to say designation of this person is web developer. So this is a two properties, one is called as name and another one is called as designation, and its value we have kept it as Raj and we have kept it as web developers. Okay, now let me save this one, and from app.js we are sending some two properties into the child component employee. Now inside the employee, we will be saying that in this parenthesis some properties are going to come. Okay, and here where I'm displaying name, I can just remove that part, and using the curly brace I can say some properties are there which is called as name, and that has to come here. And here I'm going to remove this web developer part, use the same curly brace symbols, and say props dot designation. So these are the two properties which we are going to display on the screen. So let me just save this one, and let me go to the browser, and as you can see, we have my name is Raj and my designation is web developer. Okay, now let me come back to the code, and in app.js file, what I'm going to do, if I say like this Raju, and designation I can change it to something else, like a React developer. Now let me save this one, and let me go back to the browser, and as you can see, the properties have been changed. From Raj it has changed to Raju, and from web developer it has changed to the React developer. So this is how we can send some properties to our web pages from the parent component to the child component. Now every time, okay, every time in employee.js, I'm writing this dot, sorry, I'm saying prop.name and prop.designations. So now this time I'm going to show you how we can do deconstruction of these two properties. So in order to do that, what we have to do is here in this parenthesis, what we have to do, we have to put a curly brace. Okay, we are going to say brace, and the property name we are going to directly write it here. So one we have the name, another one we have the designation. So if in case we have doing it here inside these parentheses, then we don't have to do props dot name anymore. We just have to write the property name like this. So let me just get rid of that props dot. Okay, now let me save this code, and let me go and check out the browser, and as you can see, we have no change at all. So I'm Raju and my designation is React developer. So this is how you can do a deconstruction of properties, okay, in functional component. Okay, now let me just copy the whole thing, comment it off, and here only let me create a class based component. So the functional component only I'm going to convert it into a class based component by giving a class as a keyword, and these two I have to remove from here because it's not a function anymore. And every class in React is going to extend the component class, and this component class we will have to import from library React. So I'm going to say here in at the top components, and inside the curly brace, because we are not directly importing from the React library, is a such subdirectory. Okay, so every class is going to have the render function, and inside the render function this whole code I'm going to cut it from here and paste it over here. So this is what our class based component looks like. Okay, and now where exactly we need to write these properties is inside the render function. So I'll just make it like this constant, use the curly brace, and I'll put both the properties name and the designation. Okay, and here I have to say this dot props. Okay, so this is how the deconstruction is going to happen inside a class based component. Okay, and here we'll just say name, and here we'll just say designation inside the curly brace. So these are the two ways how you can deconstruct. Okay, now let me just save this one, and let me go back to the browser and check out. See, as you can see, I am Raju and I am a my designation is React developer. Okay, now let's come back to the code, and just like this only from app.js. Okay, let me just copy this two more times and show you. If you have like multiple childrens, okay, here I'm going to say next person is Raj, and here I'm going to say next person is Rajesh, and the Raj's designation, let me make it as web developer, and here let me make it as AI developer. Okay, and now let me save this one, and let's go and check out the browser. And as you can see, we have I am Raju, I am Raj, and I am Rajesh, and it's their designation is React developer, web developer, as well as AI developers. Okay, so this is how you can do deconstruction of your props, both in class based component as well as functional component. Okay, the both are code, both the code are over here.